Hello, welcome to Info Hub. In our headlines, a massive joint services operation has been intensified to recapture 13 escaped prisoners following a breakout from the Lusignan prison last night. Budget agency heads are urged to keep government's vision in mind, and more hinterland youths graduate from the Beena Hill Institute. These stories and more when we return. Thanks for staying with us. In a statement earlier today and at a press conference late this afternoon, Minister of Public Security Kemraj Ramjatan said that a massive manhunt has been intensified as part of the Joint Services Operation codenamed Clean Sweep to recapture the 13 prisoners who escaped from the holding area at Lusignan last night.
The security services are utilizing every means and resource at their disposal to recapture the fugitives. This relentless pursuit and unrelenting effort will stop at nothing until every single one of these fugitives is captured. Every effort at this stage is being made to catch them. Every effort is also being made to put in a more secure area the 86 who are now left, because there are 99 of them there, 13 having escaped.
The prisoners made their escape by digging a 5-foot tunnel under the fence in the area where they were using as a secondary latrine. They likely escaped during a period of heavy rainfall and, based on tracks observed, made their way into the Lusignan backlands. Director of Prisons Gladwyn said that 99 inmates were being held in the area and the remaining 86 have been transferred back to Camp Street and are being held in the brick prison, which was not destroyed by fire.
What was revealed is that despite we would have provided the portable toilets, the prisoners, I am not sure if it is because of numbers or if they were uncomfortable with the use of the portable toilets, but some of them resorted to using an area where the two fences come together. It's like a V. And somewhere there, in order to protect themselves from others seeing them when they're using the toilet, there was a zinc sheet erected. The digging of the hole occurred in the same vicinity. They had to do, I guess because of the rain too, the mud was not as challenging as it should be, and they managed to get below the foundation of the fence. Having arrived on the outer part of the fence, while we would have done some clearing, there was some amount of grass which likely could have provided some amount of coverage for them.
There is a total of 17 escapees, as 4 remained at large following the breakout from the Georgetown prison on July 9th. Acting Police Commissioner David Ramnarine appealed to the public for patience and cooperation as Operation Clean Sweep intensifies, and said there will be major operations on the East Coast and East Bank Demerara corridors.
In this whole scenario as it is, I, as the Acting Commissioner of Police, want to reiterate what the Honourable Minister and the Director of Prison is asking for, and that is, as painful as it is, to ask the public to rely on us, to cooperate with us, to be patient, to be vigilant, extra vigilant, to provide us with whatever information, strange characters, movements, suspicious activities, particularly in certain areas that we consider to be backlands, where farmers, in the main, would tend to tend to crops and so on, to be a little more careful as to what hours you remain at the back there, and so on, even though there is response capability from a joint perspective in those general areas.
Minister Ramjatan said that the joint services will not rest until every escapee is recaptured, and warned the public not to harbor the fugitives, saying that doing so is a serious offense and anyone caught assisting the fugitives will be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law. Farmers and other persons have been asked to avoid going into the lower East Coast Demerara backlands until further notice. Minister of Finance Winston Jordan reminded budget agency heads that in preparing for Budget 2018, they must be cognizant of the government's vision.
The charge was made at Budget 2018 preparation and sensitization session at the Marriott Hotel. Minister Jordan said that the national budget is the main vehicle through which policies are communicated and implemented.
You will need to examine your performance framework and ensure that requests for allocations of resources will directly and measurably contribute to the achievement of program deliverables, that is, results. There's also a time for serious reflection on past performance.
Minister Jordan noted that since the 2017 national budget was passed, 6 months after, less than half of it has been expended. This, he explained, robs the people of Guyana of the opportunity to experience a better quality of life.
We need to be in a better position and in a better place. For where we are currently can neither be countenanced nor endured. I trust, therefore, that as a collective, we will use the opportunity of reflection to renew our energies towards improved performance and better results across all sectors.
However, Minister Jordan pointed out that monies allocated for the 2018 budget will not be substantially higher than the 2017 budget.
Expenditure pressures continue to mount. For example, in 2018, we have to find new monies to finance local government elections and rebuild the country's prison system, even as we continue to support Gaisupo, which continues to consume billions of dollars.
The minister noted that the burden is on agency heads to understand the reality faced by government and develop realistic and achievable budgets. The 2018 national budget is slated to be read in November. Zenil Williams for InfoHub.
25 newly appointed district education officers are benefiting from a 2-day workshop which began this morning at NSERD in Kingston. Zenil Williams was there and filed this report.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ministry of Education, Marcel Hudson, said that the workshop will set a foundation for the DEOs. The 25 new DEOs are learning the role they will play in strengthening the local education system.
It is therefore important that we leave nothing to chance as we seek to strengthen our education system with respect to the mission statement of education. That is, to provide an education system that delivers quality education and training at all levels, and particularly to eliminate illiteracy, modernize education, and strengthen tolerance.
The initiation workshop is being held under the theme Education Officers, Creating and Sustaining a Culture of Excellence. Minister of Education Acting, Nicolette Henry, said that this is important to realize the quality changes the sector needs.
The Ministry of Education must aspire to be a culture of excellence. However, I wish to point out that the ultimate creators of quality service are people, not technology or formal quality procedures. Quality begins and ends with the individual. Quality people, guess what they do? They do quality work. That there can be no creation and sustenance of a culture of excellence unless there is a change in the worker's mindset.
UNICEF representative Paolo Mariachi highlighted the need of officers to know their students so as to properly implement effective strategies.
I would like to emphasize that you need to strive to create and sustain a culture of excellence in education. In order to do so, my advice would be just to understand your children, to understand the number, the data.
Zenil Williams for InfoHub.
34 young people skilled in 11 disciplines are the latest Beena Hill Institute graduates. More from Delon Sanko.
The 8th graduation ceremony of the multi-purpose training facility was held on July 19, 2017. Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Allicock told the graduates that now it is time to develop the skill they possess.
I know that some of you in the group, during the 2 years, have been thinking that at the end of the 2 years is the end. But this was the time that you were being prepared to begin your journey, the real journey in adulthood, to make your contribution to the development of yourself, your family, your community, your region, and the country at large.
Best graduating student Jan Gomes from Region 8 said that even though it was a really trying stay, she managed to stand strong and firm on her journey.
At the end, it was very successful, and I would like to thank the teachers, friends who encouraged me, gave me support. It was very enjoyable. It was challenging for first, but after I made myself into it, I took up the challenge and I said, I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it. It's for my benefit, it's for my future, and here I am today.
Rex John told InfoHub that he will encourage his friends and others from his community to take the opportunity and further their education at the Bina Hill Institute.
After leaving secondary school, I didn't have no opportunity, no job or nothing. I used to work in back then and stuff, but heard about Bina Hill Institute, made I come right here.
The Youth Learning Center of the Bina Hill Institute was established in 2001. The center trains youth in natural resource management, forestry, wildlife management, agriculture, tourism, business studies, life skills, traditional skills, basic computer skills, mathematics, English, and leadership training. Delon Sanko for InfoHub.
And finally, Delon joins us again to tell us that the 13th annual Morocco Expo was a success.
The expo attracted more than 600 persons to the Kamaka Recreational Ground for a day of traditional games and activities. These include archery, hot pot competition, male and female fly drinking, and crab catching. When the sun went down, the focus was on the male and female football finals and the annual Miss Morocco pageant. Among those witnessing the events were Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin and Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Valerie Garrido-Lowe.
Coming from Charity alone through crossing the Atlantic and coming through the mangrove, the savanna, the scenery is fantastic. And meeting, reaching in Morocco, you have friendly people, nice, really, great hinterland atmosphere.
Well, I think they certainly put on some interesting activities, so I had the opportunity to watch women play football, or girls play football. I was very impressed by their athleticism, and I've also learned that not all Amerindians can shoot our own bow, because I watched the archery competition there, and most of the contestants did not hit the target. Also, there were some other contests. There was one that involved eating a live worm. I'm not sure exactly what kind of worm it was, but I don't want you to think it was a skinny, small worm. This was a fat chap, live and wriggling and everything, and the contestants had to eat it, chew it, swallow it, so that was also interesting. And then there was the other race to eat a bowl of, what was it, the hot pot, some sort of very hot stew with cassava bread.
Thank you very much.
It looked simple, but by the time they got halfway through, both contestants were struggling, visibly struggling, showing signs of fatigue. So, all in all, those events made those activities made the event a lot more interesting and fun.
The ministers promised that the government will continue to work with the region to further develop the expo. Minister Garrido-Lowe offered some advice on how the expo can be improved.
Lots of people come, from Region 2, from Georgetown. So you already have the support. So if you can get your product in order now, people will go away feeling very much satisfied, and Morocco will have more exposure, let's say, For instance, the other villages, Morocco is a sub-region. You have several villages along the riverine area, Quibana and all. So if they come together and each have a booth to showcase their own unique product and so on, this expo will have more to offer.
The first Morocco Expo was held in 2004 as part efforts to promote community-based tourism. Delon Sanko for InfoHub.
Thanks for watching. Connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media.